Wow, so it seems like you were operating under survival mode, over functioning and trying to get things done. And once you let go and surrendered, then that's when things began to shift and change, and you begin to live in the real peace that God has called us in, and that surpasses understanding. And although financially it looked differently, it gave you peace and surrender.
Yeah, and and even during that time, and kind of goes hand in hand with, the intention of our call. Because I had my second daughter, and I wasn't prioritizing exercise. I mean, I would still work out, but I'd go and do like, little hit classes that I'd sign up for, go get the hour in. It was just like check a box, go in, do this intense cardio class, and then come home. And what I didn't know at the time that I know now is that any level of stress we put on our body goes through eustress and distress. The distress is the unhealthy kind. The eustress is almost like the healthy, getting ready to prepare for a presentation. Well, our nervous system responds to it the same. And so while I was having this high level stress on my body from that was self-inflicted with my work and my business, and then I was going and putting in an hour of like high intense stressful workouts. So I was just really running my body to the ground. And then additionally, because I wanted to lose the baby weight, I was dieting. Keto was kind of new in the world, in the United States. So I had ventured into that to drop the weight fast. And I've tried paleo and I tried vegetarian. I was just, what's the fastest way that I don't have to think about my health and nutrition to still lose the weight and keep functioning at this capacity in my business? And so at the time, if you were to ask me if health and nutrition was important, give you all the reasons why it was. Like, look at, I work out and I eat this way and I'm eliminating that. I would justify that I was eating healthy. And now I look back and I think, wow, those were actually things that were contributing to the burnout and to the depletion of my health.
Wow. So now your mind has shifted. Take us into who Candice is now and how you see your health and nutrition and your body.
I think moving from where it was maybe initially performance and discipline, even the bodybuilding part, when I did my first competition in 2014, a lot of that was to it, and there were still positives from that very first competition while it was, in that first business, in that I learned that there was a level of confidence that comes with doing what you say you're going to do. And that, really contributed to a lot of the success of the business. And so 2021, I was going to turn 40, and I remember stepping into that year. There was a new division that was healthier for my body type. I love the aspect of bodybuilding, competing. And so at the time, there was only a few categories. And so when this new division came out, it was a category that I was enticed by. I was like, okay, that's a physique I'd like to build. That's not one I have today, but it would be a challenge, to me, knowing I like the challenges. And so maybe at the beginning it was about the discipline, that level of control that I've liked to have. But over time, it became more about learning my body and how it responds. I realized that my body wasn't the enemy, it was just giving me feedback, along the way. And this really mirrors how many women live emotionally, right? Like we end up responding to our body and the way it looks. And sometimes it leads to unhealthy measures. And so what does it look like to do it in a way that's like for your future?